Welcome back to Lumify. In this one, we're going to use automations to send a festive greeting to clients or to contacts that you've worked with in the last year. Let's jump right into it. The first thing we want to do is we want to create a new automation. And so once you're on the new automation screen, it's a good practice to go ahead and set a name for it. Let's say send Christmas greeting on Christmas Day. Something like that. We can call it, let's say, festive greeting. Great. So once we set a name for our automation, we need to decide when the automation is going to run. And that's what this trigger section is for here. So let's go in, and what we want to do is we actually want this to run on a specific day. We want it to run on Christmas Day. So what we can do is go into add condition, and we can say, let's say where. So let's go with date, time, month is equal to, and December is the 12th month of the year. So we'll say 12. So now let's add another condition here and say where the day is equal to 25, Christmas Day, the 25th day of December. Cool. So now what's going to happen is this automation will run daily. It'll run every single day at 7 p.m. your local time. And it'll check to see whether the current month is December and whether the current day is the 25th day of December. Now, if that is not true, this automation will not run. Now, if this is true, the automation will run. Now, you can use this daily trigger to run daily jobs, to run daily reports, to do all kinds of automations that you need to run every day. But you can also set these conditions so that automations will run on a specific day. All right, let's say you didn't want it to run at 7 p.m. local time. What if you wanted it to run at 9 a.m. local time, Christmas morning? What you can do there is you can change from a daily automation to an hourly automation and just select every hour. So trigger every hour. And now what will happen is this will only run still on Christmas Day, but it will run every hour on Christmas Day. So what we want to do is add another condition here and say add condition where the hour is equal to 9. Now this is formatted in military time, in 24-hour time. So if you wanted it to be 2 p.m., you would do 14, right? If you wanted it to run at 9 a.m., you would put 9. So now hit save. So now what will happen is this will only run one time on Christmas Day, 12/25 at 9 a.m. So let's move on here. What we're going to do is we're going to have two versions, two different types of this automation. The first one will be sending an email to all of your contacts, no matter if you've had any interactions with them this year. And what we'll also do is we'll set up another automation that will run for contacts that you've worked with just in the last year. So let's get started with the email to all of your contacts. Let's add an action, and we're going to get a list of models. And the model that we're going to grab is contact. And there's no conditions really here. If you wanted to set some conditions, you can go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead and hit save. So now what this action will do is it'll go and grab all of your contacts. And now we need to iterate through those contacts. So you can say add action, logical actions, and we're going to do a for each loop to loop through all those contacts. The input for this for each loop is going to be the list of contacts. And now here's where we add all of our actions. So we can go in here and we can say send an email. And we're going to send this email to a specific contact. And that contact is going to be contact from that for each loop. Now let's build out this email. I'm going to copy over some content that I have over here. Cool. So we've set our email to go to a specific contact. That contact is the contact from the for each loop. The subject is going to be happy holidays from company name. This is using the company name placeholder. And you're saying dear contact.name. And you're using the first name operator to make sure that the full name isn't spelled out. It'll only take the contact's first name. And then you have a fun message there. All right, let's hit save. Save again. Everything's looking good. Let's hit save. And so before we can test this, we're going to have to remove these conditions because today is not December 25th and it's not 9 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these conditions here. When you're testing, I would recommend you keep those conditions. But we're going to go ahead and delete them here just so that you can see what's going on. Let's save that and let's hit run now. So just finished, and you'll see green check marks next to all of the actions that ran. And so if we go to more actions, the view automation log, we'll see that there is a run here. And we'll see that our for each loop had 22 total items. And here are all the contacts that we got. So we can see that this email was sent successfully here. Awesome. Okay, so now that we have this set up to send to all contacts, what if we wanted to send the email only to contacts that we worked with in the last year? And so that's really easy to do. What we can do is we can edit this first, get a list of action. We can change it to event. So we'll get a list of all events. We don't want all events. We only want the events that we've worked on in the last year. So let's go ahead and add a condition. And we'll say where date. And we'll grab the date there. And we'll say where the date is less than, let's say, today's date. Let me say today. I'll put that in a placeholder in the double curly brackets. And we'll add another condition here and say where date, grab the date again, and we'll say where the date is greater than, in this case, let's say 1st of year. And so in that way, what we're doing is we're saying only give us the events from this year, essentially, from the start of this year and before today. Hit save there. Let's hit save again. And let's run that. And so we got an error there. We'll take a look at that in a second. If we look at the automation log, what we'll see is we're getting events from our filter models, and the dates from that event are only from this year, which is exactly what we want. Fantastic. So now let's take a quick look at the for each loop that we have here. And yes, we are going to use the get a list of events. That's what we want. But we're getting an error here. It's saying invalid input data. What it wants is a contact, but it got an event instead because we've changed the get models to an event, not contact. So let's go ahead and edit this. And we'll change this from recipient type of contact to recipient type of event. And now what that means is we're going to use the each event in the loop. It's fantastic. Now, this is where you might want to add some filters. Let's say you wanted to only send this email to clients, or you only wanted to send this email to photographers that you've worked with asking for referrals, or you only wanted to send this to your staff, for example. That's where you can do this. So you can say recipient conditions. The type of condition would be where relation, contact type, label equals to, let's say you only wanted to send it to clients. So then you would say where the label equals to client, hit save, and it's the same email. You don't have to change anything there with the email. Now, if you just wanted to send this to everyone that you've worked with, everyone that you've touched in the year, you can remove that condition and just save this as is. Hit save, save the whole thing and run that again. And there you go. We got a green checkbox, which means that this sent successfully. So we can also verify that by looking at the automation log. And we'll see in our for each loop, we've sent 27 emails. And so that's it. It's as simple as that. This is how you can automate an email to go out to your clients or to your contacts to wish them Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday. We'll see you in the new year.